This is an updated build of a deck that we played like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. But this is a Tamiyo meets the Story Circle Archway of Innovation Eldrazi deck. So if you haven't seen this before, if you have Tamiyo meets the Story Circle on turn 2, you play an Archway of Innovation also. You can then on turn 3 discard 4 or 5 cards and then tap your Archway of Innovation to say the next spell you play this turn has Improvise. And then you can, in theory, cast an Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger or an Emrakul the Promise End. You have to discard 5 unless you have a double land. If you have a double land, you only have to discard 4. And casting an Ulamog on turn 3, casting an Emrakul on turn 3 is very powerful. When you have these 2 cards in your opening hand, it is awesome. It feels like you're doing like the most powerful thing in the format. It's really crazy. When we played the first build, we were playing Portent of Calamity, which at the time was a new card. If you're not familiar with it, this sometimes allows you to, for like 6 or 7 mana, cast an Ulamog or an Eldrazi, an Ulamog or an Emrakul, and then put something big in your hand. I thought that card was okay, but after just more testing, I think it's just too clunky, a little bit suboptimal, pretty fragile in general. And so I'm like kind of just like looking at different ways to build the deck, and really, like, one thing I realize is, like, this is a very good Chalice of the Void deck. This is a deck that can play Chalice of the Void on turn 1. Chalice of the Void is very good against Energy. It's very good against Dimir, which makes it pretty dang good in the format. Also good against Storm. You just play it X=2 once you realize you're up against Storm. And so once I realized that this card is just, like, an awesome main deck card, and I realized Portent's not really somewhere you want to be. So I cut the Portents for Chalices, and then I'm like, well, our blue card count for Force of Negation is quite low. I get those out of there. And I'm starting to play test some, and I end up trying out Devourer of Destiny. And Devourer of Destiny has been, like, just so incredible in the shell. I feel really silly for not playing it earlier, but of course, like, these builds take a long time to figure out, and you don't always want to play Devourer in your Eldrazi builds. But, like, the Devourer is just, like, not only is it, like, a nice answer to Blood Moon in combination with your Talismans. It's an answer to Psychic Frog that doesn't get countered game 1. It's an answer to Murktide Regent in kind of a similar way. Like, it lets you play like this kind of mid-game removal, but it also just sets up your combo really well. Like, you just are able to more often do your turn 3 thing because of your Devourer of Destinies. Like, of course, obviously, it feels so obvious in hindsight. Also just smooths out your draws, which is just so important. I've been like, I almost feel like this is like the best Devour deck I've played. Maybe it's a little too high, but pretty big fan. I've also been liking Nulldrifter a lot in the shell. I think my main reason for not playing Nulldrifter in the earlier shells was it wasn't a blue card for Force of Negation, but we have room for a couple copies now because we're not playing Force of Negation anymore. Now, I actually had 4 Nulldrifters and only 4 Talismans for a little bit, but I really missed having less than 6 I missed having 6 Talismans. I didn't like having only 4, or I wanted to double Talisman early more often. And I also feel like you need to play 6 Talismans so that way if you're up against a Blood Moon, which is very common right now, that you can get 2 colorless mana in play to cast Kozilek's Command or cast a Devourer of Destiny. Now, Kozilek's Command is also kind of like the most important card in the deck, or like the second most important card in the deck, because this, I don't know how much this will surprise you, but especially with the Talismans, this is your secondary way to cheat out Ulamog and Emrakul. Like, you will just hard cast Ulamog and Emrakul on turn 4 because you had Kozilek's Command, which is really awesome that you have both Tamiyo meets the Story Circle and Kozilek's Command as a way to, like, actually cast these cards. Deck was looking very good last night. It can certainly be a high variance deck, but like any deck with a combo, it is something I think you're worth doing. And like what's cool to me about this deck is like you do just kind of have a combo. It's like your show and telling, your Emrakul Ulamog if you have these 2 cards. But like this is the land that enters untapped and taps for blue a lot of the time. Although you have 9 islands in this deck between the 5 islands and the 4 Lrien Revealed. And then you have to play 4 Tamiyo meets the Story Circles, which are not very good cards individually. They're just a combo card. I tried to build a version that was playing Urza, Lord High Artificer, to where so Urza was like kind of your secondary Archway, if that makes sense. And I think that you could maybe still build a more artifact build with Urza, but Urza kind of sucks compared to all these Eldrazi. So let's get going. Don't you say that any deck with rings needs life gain? Breaker of Creation. Any deck with rings needs life gain or a combo. We have a combo here. And the problem with Breaker of Creation is you can't improvise it out very effectively. That is the problem. If you have to have like the Temple or an Ugin's Labyrinth plus pitchable to improvise it out. But yeah, you don't need life gain in your deck so much if you could just like Ulamog your own ring, or if you could just cast your Emrakul and your Ulamog faster. I think that like Titan is an example of this. It's a ring deck that doesn't really play life gain, but just kills your opponent. And this isn't exactly killing your opponent immediately, but it is just going so over the top that you don't need the life gain. Okay, well, I'm going to keep this hand. It would be obviously cool to draw another imprintable. We do have a lot of imprintables in this build. How does this deck get improvised value besides having 3 chalices in play? Okay, Tamiyo meets the story circle is like 2 mana, put 10 artifacts in play. So Archway is mostly just a combo with that card. Thank you for tuning in within the last 1 minute. So we went over that in the deck tech 2 minutes ago. Getting Thoughtseize maybe? Inquisition. A Brickadelphia. Not the best Thoughtseize I've ever seen. Okay, I'm going to imprint the Ulamog because it's the card they know about. I guess this is also, more castable, but... Yeah, that's okay, chicken. Wouldn't Cavern of Souls be nice to have? Nope. All our big Eldrazi have cast triggers. I would love to play more islands, so Archway of Innovation enters untapped more often. I'm not interested, I think, in a Cavern of Souls at all. Why are we on 4 Lord without any pitch spells? Because this card is almost strictly better than a basic island in this deck. We have 0 1-drops, so on turn 1, like, we're very free to just cycle this for lands. It's very easy to cycle them off talismans. And this, you may notice, is also something you can draw 3 cards with for 5 mana. It is almost strictly better than a basic island in this build. Okay, so we're on the draw against Necro? The Castle Locktway makes me think maybe not Necro. Do I sideboard at all? I probably want like Dismembers for like Bowmasters and Shieldrids. Let's bring these in. And then I could probably go down on Talismans against a non-moon decks. I think I'm gonna keep the Chalices. I could play like, so we'll play 3 Chalice. Yeah, Necro's been really gone. I thought Necro would be good because like Travis was like 15-0 with it post Grief Ban. I thought it would like still be a deck. Mike Big Helmet, 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Have I listened to a Cole drop last night? No, I haven't. I haven't been like a huge J. Cole fan for a while. Honestly, Esther's more of a J. Cole fan than I am. But I might check it out. You should get in the habit of clicking your spell before clicking your lab. It'll stop you from accidentally putting the card in your hand. Am I really clicking the lab the whole time? Mike, again, thank you for the 19 months. Okay, yeah, I mean, we could just keep this because we just have Devourer. It makes this hand keepable. An Archway would be pretty ideal. Although you do need another blue source too. Raven's Crime time. So we're up against the Rack. There's the Archway. I'm going to just take that, play it tapped. Pass the turn. Now, I guess against the Rack, this is kind of a funny situation where we may just like not have enough cards in hand to discard to do our thing. I just realized my opponent's username is Time to Top Deck also. Yeah, I guess we just don't have enough cards because my opponent's triple Ravens crimed me. It's funny. Funny way to start today. Honestly, the clue tokens are kind of nice though, and just maybe if I can just get like 4 clue tokens in play, this will still be a pretty powerful effect. I could potentially just improvise out like Kozilek's command first. Then this amongst it has 4 models. Oh yeah, I cut 2 of the Nulldrifters for Talismans because we need to be better against Blood Moon. So I'm gonna change that. Oof. Okay. So now my Kozilek's command is like not really castable. It's kind of weird. I'm just gonna discard my whole hand besides the Lrien Revealed, I think. I have 6 clues, and then I'm gonna be in a spot where my opponent can't discard any cards in my hand because I have no cards in my hand. And then I can cast some of my stuff, although I guess I can't quite cast Nulldrifter. Okay, they have a Rack though. But I could also clue token back up. Thankfully, Archway of Innovation doesn't stop, or Damping Sphere doesn't stop Archway of Innovation. It's kind of fun. I can also shuffle 3 cards. I'm going to shuffle Emrakul back in. I think I want to leave Kozilek's command so another Emrakul is a bit easier to cast. Yeah, I think I just want Emrakul to be castable. And then we'll just, we'll draw end of turn. Getting in with a factory, they might pump it to hit me for 3. Eldrazi Temple shuffle in? Maybe. I mean, we're not very likely to draw it, but it would unlock a couple cards. I'm not exactly sure it's a good top deck. Okay, so with only 5 clue tokens, we're pretty short. I think I'm gonna sack another clue token here, see if we can find a double land. Sack another clue token, probably. Although my opponent's probably gonna Raven's Cry me. Can Break the Ice, destroy Gemstone Caverns have luck counter? No. It cannot tap for a colorless if it has a luck counter on it. Okay, so I'm down to 9. What a weird game. So maybe just any land for Lrien. I guess I could just improvise Lrien Revealed. It's a little bit better to do it this way. Because I get to save 1 mana. Okay, and now we can Kozilek's command to kill the Mistress Factory and draw a card. Okay, command would have been great there. Yeah, but we didn't have a colorless mana. Okay, exile, scry, draw. But it is also still great here. Oh, wait, I can't because of the Damping Sphere. Damping it. Okay. That's fine. So now, yeah, kind of obvious I had a target for it. Can with the 34 months. Thank you. Welcome back. That being said, okay, so I only have 3 clue tokens now. But this only costs 7 mana. So this is basically a land that taps for 2. I think I have exactly enough, right? Funny that, like, Tamiyo meets the Story Circle just was so good as, like, just make 6 clues and crack 3 of them. Alright, so let's... is this target player? It is. Okay, so you will discard your copy of the rack. You'll animate a factory. Attack into my Emrakul. The rack naming them? Huh. So yeah, so I guess... So choose an opponent. Choose an opponent, not choose a player. That is cool, though. I didn't need it, like, that was not on my radar. It can destroy bounce. I mean, I know there was like a conversation about break the ice versus bounce lands with damping sphere in play. I believe it does not work. There was like a whole like Twitter thread about that like last week. So I can't cast that because I guess I could because with the with by improvising it out I could evoke. All right, we out top deck. Time to top deck. Okay, so this hand is turn 2 Talisman or Tamiyo if I draw a Archway. Let's keep this on the draw. It's pretty bad if they like Thoughtseize my Lrien Revealed, obviously. This hand's really good if we draw an Archway, a Ring, a Ugin's Labyrinth, a Eldrazi Temple, and like still has like plenty of game otherwise. Is this this Affinity deck is like our 5th time this week playing against it. Has there been a standout Demonic Council deck? I think it was good in like the Jund Woodlands deck. Like I think it's been at its best in Woodlands. Although I am thinking that I want to kind of pivot back towards a more maybe not normal isn't the right word, but kind of the same kind of build we've been playing in the past of Woodlands, but just splashing for Demonic Council, kind of over Demonic Tutor, or sorry, over Traverse the Ulamog. They cast a Shadow Spear. You have a second land? They do. It's a Spire of Industry. Affinity kicks Necro out of the format. Is that what happened? Alright, hopefully we just top deck an Archway. That would make things easy peasy. Otherwise, we're going to play Talisman. Interesting. So this would let me Kozilek's command to... Or just X equals 1. I think I'm just going to ramp this turn. And then potentially just make a big Kozilek's command to hardcast an Ulamog. I guess they could needle Archway of Innovation. Last night I played Tommy Meets the Story Circle against FOMO, and it was very funny. Like, they could attack twice with it, but it dealt no damage. Right, they play a Razortide Bridge. They don't equip the Shadow Spear, so do they have something else to play, or are they just forgetting? Either way, I'm going all the way down from 19 to 18. And then they pass the turn, and they draw 2 cards. So this is 5. Yeah, if I can find a double land off Kozilek's command, I could just hardcast Ulamog next turn. But yeah, I mean, they might have Metallic Rebuke. That is the counterspell they play. Definitely Rebuke, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of easy to just not equip the Shadow Spear. They could also be trying to draw Rebuke off of the Baubles and just not equip Shadow Spear for that. But I would agree that it's likely Metallic Rebuke. Saga, Saga plus Urza plus Saga for map might help with consistency. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Urza Saga is just not a card I've been liking very much. It's not a card I'm just like never playing right now, but it's not a card I'm playing very often either. All right. Certainly would prefer this to not get rebuked. They do have it. Dirty Dan with the 11 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Just saying Woodland triggered my memory. Naya Primal Prayers. Yeah, we've played a lot of I don't know if you've seen our Teamer or Bant builds. No, I don't think we've played Naya. 0 copies of the Greenbelt Rampage is probably wrong. Guess you can't recruit her for it. We've done a lot of Primal Prayers decks. The build does look interesting. Looks like they have another Rebuke. You know what? We've been losing to Affinity. I know we're playing like a lot of brews and stuff, but like, is Affinity good? It might. It does seem like it's good against Boros and Frog, which is pretty interesting. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna sideboard either here. There's just so little artifact hate in sideboard. I guess so, yeah. Why do you tap first and cast after? This could lose just click and Ugin Lab again. I don't know. Let me live my life, I think. I appreciate the thought, but I don't know. I just let me stream and without being so nitpicked, I think. It's gonna be best case for everybody. It's like a Kappa Cannoneer. Although I don't know, actually, no, right? Wait, how did the Emery get tapped? Oh, the Emery just tapped for the bobble. Are they not gonna? Yeah, I guess they can have a land for the Saga token. There we go. Yeah, Wrath Disguise has been kind of falling off. Yeah, also like the stock Jeskai list just doesn't play Wrath Disguise right now. So I mean, I do agree that if you're gonna be playing if you're gonna be playing Affinity, like now's the time, right? We probably need to top deck a Ring or an Archway here. All right, that was on my list. So I think I should probably set up for hard casting one or both of these. I think I need to discard 3 to really set up for that. Obviously, we're hoping that our opponent doesn't have a copy of Metallic Rebuke again, or a second copy of Metallic Rebuke. They do have the Needle. Yeah, I wonder if they have Rebuke and they just let this resolve because they have the Needle. We'll play that out on 0. It's funny, Dr. Doom. Dude, is Affinity good? Affinity might be good. I don't know. For a brief moment, maybe. Our backup deck has 4 main deck Wrath of Skies. Grabbing a Tormod's Crypt. Which they can't crack right now, but they can crack on my upkeep. They're going to needle my ring, I think. They could be very smart and needle Archway of Innovation, too. They do name the ring. I think I can still cast Emrakul. Oh, maybe... Wait, what are they targeting here? My top... Okay, that doesn't do that thing. So I draw Archway, tap Archway. Then I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I have exactly enough for Emrakul through the Tormod script if I top deck Archway. I won't be happy with Affinity and Souls. Simulacrum Synthesizer is playable. Well, I'll get back to you on that, I guess. Now, I don't exactly know that Emrakul is going to be enough to stabilize against this. Alright, so you pop this. We're looking to top deck an Archway of Innovation. And Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. Okay. Going to game 2. We have a lot of options. I think I want to cut my Devourers. They do hit like Portable Hole and Emery, but for the most part, just don't have enough targets, I think. The Trinisphere is kind of juicy. It's good against Thought Monitors. Trinisphere is probably good. I don't know about these Consigns. Like, a lot of their payout, like, I guess it stops Portable Hole ETB, which isn't, like, all that important. It stops, like, Springleaf Drum. Doesn't even counter Kappa Cannoneer. I wonder if Dispute is better. Like, these do counter Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor and Emery. Like, 3 Disputes. Alright, try this. Cannoneers was slept on. Yeah, I was looking at it in the Asmo deck we were playing earlier. The card is... I don't think people are necessarily sleeping on the card. More so, it's just, like... The decks that can play it have been not very good. Okay, well, I'm going to keep this hand. Let's put back our basic island, and then I will play Talisman on turn 1 to set up for... I think I'm going to put back the Emrakul here to set up for top deck Kozilek's Command or Ring. We can also cast Tamiyo Beats the Story Circle if we draw it. Lrien Revealed. Nice top deck too. Looks like they left in the Tormod's Crypt. Tormod's Crypt go. Okay, ton of good draws here. That was not on the list, unfortunately. If I draw Tommy Meets the Story Circle, there's like actually a pretty good chance I want to discard the island, so I'll just play this tapped. 4, 5, 6. Ring. Tommy Meets the Story Circle. Lrien Revealed. Kozilek's Command. Nulldrifter. Chalice of the Void. Trinisphere. These are good top decks. I don't know if I would hate an Eldrazi Temple. Probably wouldn't love one. Okay, that is what I got. I mean, we will be just like 2 mana short of casting this Ulamog. So like I wouldn't hate another Eldrazi Temple. How can you cast Ulamog turn 3? With Archway of Innovation and Tamiyo Meets the Story Circle. Find a Springleaf Drum. They definitely have some counter magic up. Hopefully it's Rebuke and not Consign, I guess. Oops, all lands. Deck's full of good top decks. None coming here. I think we had to keep this on 6, though. I'm still somewhat iffy about this list because it's mostly a 3-card combo. There's not really that good of a game plan otherwise. I don't know. I guess I disagree. So like, I think it's less of a 3-card combo than you would think, because really, basically every time you have Archway and Tamiyo use the Story Circle, you have something big to cast. It's kind of like calling Devoted Druid Vizier of Remedies a 3-card combo because you need something big to cast. It is not very often that you don't have that big thing. Additionally, to say that there's not really any other good plan, I think is kind of silly, or at least it's something I disagree with, where we have the Ring, we have Chalice, we have Kozilek's command to just hard cast these things on turn 4, but it was something you do like surprising amount of the time. We have we have a lot of other like high quality cards to go along with this. So I think overall I disagree. Wait, did they make a Saga token? You know, I was also playtesting the deck last night. It was really performing last night. I have a little faith, I think. In fact, I think we have like 4 cards in our deck that aren't very good. We have 4 Tommy Meets the Story Circle. Every other card is just like a very good modern card. They attacked and had no mana for a token. I see. So I guess they just misplayed. They do needle my Archway. Thankfully, we are just at 6, 7, 8, yeah, 10 mana for Ulamog. Scared of a Consign. Says they misclicked and forgot to make a token. Yeah, it is what it looks like here, huh? So they've already used 1 Consign. Hopefully they don't have a second copy. Donors are for fun. I promise I tested it last night. I don't think it's worth including. You can rebuke this if you want. Damn. Interesting time to Tormod script me. They do see the Emrakul here. Am I dead to the boots? Boots plus crypt. I think I'm dead. 8 plus 9. Yeah, tough flood for sure. Been losing to Affinity. It's kind of interesting. And you know, and you know, there was this comment that like this deck doesn't have much of a good plan otherwise is like a huge chunk of the reason why I like this deck and why I've been impressed with this deck in testing is I think this deck has incredibly good plan Bs, and like it has the nut draw of Tamiyo plus Archway, but like you are just like a powerful Eldrazi deck with Chalice of the Void otherwise, and I think that this is a really exciting dynamic and it's been looking good in testing. This deck is basically this deck is basically 2 colors already, so 3rd color's tough. Yeah, you would play Rumble instead for sure. River Brood with FOMO and Arcanist in the same shell. No, I do think that Dreadhorde Arcanist it's getting better with Lamp or so not Lamplight Phoenix, the Detectives Phoenix and Arena of Glory. Only formed a fairy unplayable. Okay, thank you. Good luck, have fun. And Imprintable would be awesome. We should just go Lab, double Talisman. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Imprintable. You came right on time and I forgot to imprint you. I think we're still just going to play double Talisman here. If my opponent taps out for Moon, we'll just go scry 2, draw 2 in response. And then we'll have 3, 6, 8 mana. I guess a little short of like an Ulamog. Weird how a card like Dreadhorde Darkness has the getting better with time school design, but sees absolutely zero modern and pioneer play. I suppose, I don't know. There's also like just power level in general is getting higher, so like these kind of like dirtily 2-drops that haven't historically been very good, despite getting some new cards, don't usually get there in the long run. Alright, so we have 8 mana. Not quite Emrakul range, but of course my opponent is Blue Moon. Their deck is very slow. And we will probably just be sacking some clues and card casting these in a couple turns. Ah, my sweet Archway of Innovation. So if I discard Ulamog and Archway, then my Emrakul cost 9. I have 8. I think I'll still just discard both of these. Obviously, the Ulamog is very close to being cast, but I think 2 clues is better than an Ulamog here. I'll just like almost guarantee hit my land drop, and also the Emrakul is going to cost 1 less once my Tamiyo goes to the graveyard too. Okay, they're going to counter my card draw with Tishana's Tidebinder. Command obviously insane. Not going to shuffle any of these. Need these all in the yard for Emrakul discount. And I don't actually have to sack any of my spawns, which is cool. Turn 6 through Blood Moon. Here's my Emrakul, the Promised End. They just get the Snapcaster out of their hand here. Let's see what they're left with. Sync Counterspell. But they can only play one of these. Can't bounce any of their own stuff here before y'all. I'll suggest that. How about the Madness Emrakul can discard with Story Circle? I mean, you don't have enough colorless sources, I think. It's a fun thought. Pretty annoying hand for them to have. I think I'm just going to sink my Talisman or something. Or I could play this as a land. Yeah, I guess I would rather just play it as a land. Well, no. Never mind. Okay, your turn. Casting counter. I mean, yeah, there's only 3 blue sources. That was the easy play. Should there have been 4 sources? Don't bounce. I think it's better for me to just put this back into my hand and then easily recast it with all this mana, especially when they have counterspell in their hand, than it is for me to give them the extra mana. I think it's fine to disagree there, but it honestly doesn't really seem that close. Probably gonna block Tidebinder here. Bounce Moon. Okay, again, you cannot sink into the Stupor your own permanents, even if you're, even if they're not really your own permanents, because you're controlling them. The Graveyard of Force Negation. Oh, sorry, I was actually about to unup 6 just for that reason. Alright, taking 5 down to 6. Now I'm down to 2 copies of Lightning Bolts. Pretty good. Pretty good. So we're going to be put down to 2, dead to Lightning Bolt. Hopefully that's not the top deck. Thankfully, my Tamiyo meets the Story Circle actually blanks their Snapcasters for a turn, which is kind of interesting. So I think I'm just going to cast this and then Kozilek's Command in their upkeep. Or do they have Tishana's Tidebinder, maybe? Zine with the 8 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. I think they're just reading that. We can find an Ulamog. We can Ulamog their red sources. I think I'm going to say no to all of these. Just I want a Emrakul or an Ulamog. Or I'll take another one of those. You can also improvise out Kozilek's Command, although our card quantity is probably a little low for that here. I might discard, whatever card I draw, though. Ooh. Let's discard nothing. Yeah, I don't have an island, so I don't want to necessarily tap these for blue anyways. Swingy game. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Please do not Lightning Bolt me in response. I will fume. Okay. On to game 2. I'm going to bring in a Gemstone Caverns. Bring in the Disputes. I don't know if I want Chalice against them or not. It seems like it's going to be bad against their Flame of Anors. It's not even good against Consign, really. No, they said they top deck the Bolt. That's funny. I need all the talismans too for the moons. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cut the chalices, but I'm not sure about this one. Not sure about that one. Don't know why they scooped. Yeah. Yeah, if they top deck the Bolt, seems like they had a turn to top deck a red source, huh? Alright, let's go to 6. So we have a Gemstone Caverns and a Devourer, which we can pitch to our caverns. We have to put a card back. I think I should put back the Otawara so we could island cycle and get around Moon. So we're gonna go reveal this, Gemstone Caverns, imprint the Devourer, and still get the trigger. They rule out Ugin's Binding as the card that's not even worth siding. I'd just rather side all his dust. I have played Ugin's Binding in this shell before. So we no longer have anything to imprint to our Ugin's Lab. Should we just say no to all of these cards? Yeah, I think I'll just say no. And then Talisman is an awesome pickup, so now my Kozilek's Command can be for a lot. Even like I can Kozilek's Command X equals 2 with like Dispute up if I need to play around that. If my opponent just casts Blood Moon, am I going to dispute the Blood Moon? I don't know. I think I could just wait though. I obviously need this to resolve, and it's not like it's getting worse. I have like land drops to hit. In fact, you could say it's even getting better. Do with X equals 3. Dispute the force. They snapped that force off too. Okay, I'm gonna keep. Do I keep both of these? Yeah, I think we keep both. I mean, neither are amazing here. We definitely have many better hits. But just the ability to like Like basically draw 4 cards with this, and this like slow grindy matchup just seems correct. Okay, charm all my temple, sure. Kind of funny that that cost 4 mana. Not going to play this, going to discard it to the story circle. Could have been good to play around a second copy of Charmal, I guess. Could also be good to play a second copy of this. So I guess if we lose the fight, we just play second copy. It seems worth disputing. They're thinking about it. Decide to just let it go. Draw 1 card. That seems pretty unlikely to resolve. I'm gonna go draw another card now and try to hit my land drop. It does cost me a spawn, which doesn't feel great, but it would feel great to hit my land drop. There's no legal targets for second Tribal. I mean, it can destroy any non-basic land. Put the K command back in because I have another one, right? Might be good to just slam the ring. No. So even if they counter this, they are not going to get their Flame of Anor because they'd have to spend mana. So they let that resolve. We bought up an island to draw a second copy of Archway. I'm going to take 6 down to 8. I think I play Ring because this also lets me just sack a clue. I'm like digging for a Emrakul here pretty hard. So they must have a Tidebinder, right? So they're going to let me draw a card, but then they're going to counter this ability here. Still an artifact in play for me to improvise. Another Kozilek's command is nice. I think we're probably going to go block Snapcaster, block Tidebinder, then sack our other clue. One top, one bottom with the Preordain. Kills a spawn. Can't sack the clue lest I lose the game. Block Tidebinder, dead to a bolt. Could have cycled the Lrien Revealed, but I don't think we should, right? There's an Ulamog. I think we're short of casting Ulamog. So this Archway basically taps for 2 or 3 or sorry 2. No, because these are just 1 mana anyways. 3, 4. So we're gonna go exile the Charmaw and then make 5 spawns. And then probably lose to a counterspell and go to game 3. To game 3 we go. Happy to have all these disputes, I guess. I'm gonna bring in my island back onto play. I wonder if Trinisphere is something we want. Not really. They just have like makes their counterspells cost 3 mana. They have so many 3-drops too. Snapcasters cost 3. It's just not that crazy. I do like having double Temple Lab. I don't like having no real spells. Let's just go ahead and mulligan this. Certainly keeping this hand. I think I'm just going to put back the Archway with no Story Circle. If we don't immediately top deck Story Circle, I'll put it on a multi 6. Yeah, I think we'll kind of do a similar play pattern we did last time. Just try to ramp into the biggest command we can. Although Snare kind of puts a wrench at this plan somewhat. What innovations does this deck have compared to Olivers? We're a Chalice deck. We're not playing Portent. Portent wasn't very good. We're not playing Force of Negation because we're not playing Portent. We're playing Devourer. Devourer has been very good. It's not like the biggest changes. I mean, we are like 14 cards different, but it's not huge changes. So they graveyard a Snare. Seems like a good moment to go for it. I'm 3-1 locals using Thundertrap, Flare, Oculus, Unearth, and Esper Goryo's build. Unearth has been tremendously good in Ramming Frog, Flahi, Oculus. Honestly, it sounds like you could just do that instead of playing Goryo's at all. That sounds actually really cool. Unearth your Archaeologist and your Thunder Traps. I do genuinely like the sound of it, but it also does sound like you might be better off just playing that deck. All right, so 4, 5, 6. Let's just keep Nulldrifter. Is Devourer number 4 better than Nulldrifter number 3? I think so. Devourer has been like very nuts at my testing. I think this is an incredible Devourer deck. So now I get to hardcast a Nulldrifter. No plan Bs in this deck, huh? Nulldrifter has been like fine, like role player, curve filler. It's not one you want to draw like mini copies of, I think. So hopefully they don't have a Flame of Anor. We just get to start annihilating some. I guess if they did, now we could probably resolve a ring. Plus 1 life for 1 reason. Oh, sorry. For some reason, I was thinking you need to pay for blue here. All right, Annihilator 1. It was bad to cast the ring there. I mean, they have 2 cards in their hand. It's probably okay. So we can Devour the Moon. Just like in my favorite movie, Despicable Me. Or I guess it might just be better to Devour this Tidebinder. Yeah, I think so. All right, 2-1. We have a lot of imprintables in the deck, none of them in the hand. I think, unfortunately, I have to mulligan. Another no imprintables hand. Let's go and go to 5. I'm going to mulligan pretty aggressively with this deck, I think. Sanda's probably kind of proof of that. So let's put back second copy of Ugin's Lab. And then probably the Tommy meets the Sorry Circle, which is not nearly as good on the multi-5. So we can go turn 1, Lab, Talisman, Cycle, Lrien Revealed. No love for Minister. I mean, that card is not good, you know. What do you think of the advantage of this deck to Eldrazi Breach deck? Being able to go off turn 3, being a Chalice of the Void deck, getting access to the blue counter spells on the sideboard is a really big deal. Getting the cast triggers and not being quite as cool to like counterspell them through the breach, but also you can hardcast the stuff in that deck too, but not quite as easily, right? Turn 2 Grist. See if that does anything. Now I am on a mold of 5, so I don't know if I have like the luxury of exiling Halfling here. Let's see what we draw. Draw a Talisman. Yeah, let's just go ahead and set up for a little bit of a bigger command, and there's a good chance that I will command in response to this trigger. We'll see what we draw though. Could also be good to hold this, but it doesn't do the most on the mold of 5. What do you think of Stubborn Denial in the blue-black Unearth deck? I doubt I'd be playing it if I just had Counterspell, Flare, Snare. Yeah, they get a Mortuary into their hand. They're main decking all the Fatal Pushes. I guess that's kind of an interesting way to build this deck. Second copy of Kozilek's Command. I guess our Tamiyo with the Solar Circle is not doing anything. We could maybe just respond. Doesn't mean we're not exiling the Halfling this turn, but I think that that's okay. I didn't cast a Yogg last turn. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to keep the Ulamog so I have Temple as an out. And I mean, I can also just like second Kozilek's Command into the Ulamog, I suppose. Yogg has definitely been a more popular deck this week too. They graveyard an Endurance pretty quickly. They have a Cauldron that they could copy with their Woodlands, which doesn't do much right now. They have 2 creatures in the yard for the Grist ultimate. Hopefully this won't be tank, 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 cast Yawgmoth. Take 3 all the way down to 17. Cast a Young Wolf. Seems they're a bit flooded, which is obviously good news for us. We have the option to cast a Devourer and exile the Grist, but this comes at the cost of one of my spawns. Seems like I'm just going to go big or go home. And it's nice I can like exile Yawgmoth too if they cast Yawgmoth. But they would have to top deck, and they just graveyarded an Endurance with the Surveil land. Alright, plussing the Grist again. Court of Calling into the yard. Probably not too happy to see that. Second Surveil land. Graveyard's Overgrown Tomb. Is this likely to have been the draw this turn? I guess I should have been paying more attention to like did they leave a mana open any turn? But if they left a mana open at any turn, it's more likely that was the top deck. At the very least, it doesn't seem like they have Court of Calling. If I find an Emrakul, am I going to cast Emrakul instead? I think I want to take Labyrinth, probably. I don't think I want any of these other cards. I mean, maybe Nulldrifter is better than... Maybe Nulldrifter or Ring is better than, like, the average draw. But even then, like, I think I'm just going to cast, like, a second Ulamog instead of any of these other cards, so... Or, like the following turn. Or, like, yeah, Devourer. Okay, so this is 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to exile the Grist and then the Woodlands, I think. Seems like Woodlands better than exiling another mana source. Maybe we could go after the Young Wolf. Notably, their Zulaport Cutthroat is in the graveyard, which makes the situation like very safe compared to if that Cutthroat is just not in the graveyard. So like exiling the Woodlands, I guess, also covers that base a little bit. Can they do something weird with the Woodland here? Okay, they Woodland into a Cauldron. It's still being targeted by the Ulamog, though. And they just put a counter on a thing. Alright, your turn. Yeah, we do have to draw land to cast a second Ulamog next turn, but we obviously just have the Devourer too, if we want to do that. Cast a Wall of Roots. No, the Grist would make sense. Oh, they top decked Yogg. Okay. Should I just maybe take 4? I think that I probably am just not going to cast the other Ulamog this game. That I'm likely to just devour this Yawgmoth next turn and attack with my Ulamog twice for the win. And if that's my line, I guess I'm just going to gain 3 life like this, because I don't need these spawns really for anything else. Now with the Cutthroat gone, it doesn't seem very likely that they can combo kill me, and I think that's why you saw them attack like this. Although maybe I've underestimated my opponent's ability to negative 10 counter my Ulamog. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess they should be able to do that. Okay, interesting that they're letting the attack happen. Their life total is not very relevant, or maybe it's relevant because they can pay the life, but we're attacking. They will be able to Grist kill my Devourer, though. On a serious note, maybe exiling the Young Wolf was better last turn. No, you have to exile Woodland, right? We must exile Woodland because of the Cutthroat. Like this is not an option. So you're basically saying that it's better to exile Young Wolf than Grist with 7 loyalty, which I don't think can be true because the Cutthroat is gone. But that would have to be what you think. Although they do now have Woodland in play, second Woodland. But, you know, this Yawgmoth is going off the table. We did only exile one other Yawgmoth with the attack, which I guess is kind of a bummer. Can they cast Yawg and activate the Woodland? Looks like they can with a land. But I don't think they can play a Young Wolf first. Oh, and they don't have an untapped land either, which is pretty interesting. Close game. If I draw an untapped land, I can Devour again. They're also dead to my Ulamog attack, so they have to like Yawgmoth pay 7, get rid of the Ulamog, and then they'll have only 4 cards left in their library, which means that their ability to sack a bunch of things after they copy Cutthroat is like just not very realistic, but could maybe get beat down still. It could like proliferate onto the Grist and ultimate it. So thankfully they cored for Yawgmoth. Oh, so I guess not thankfully they cored for Yawgmoth because they are able to Woodland now. Did we exile all the other Young Wolves? I see 2 in exile. Although the thing is, they only have 10 cards in their library. Have they activated Grist yet? I guess they have exactly enough to get me. Because otherwise they would be 1 short, right? Because they couldn't draw enough cards. Oh no, they could sack they could sack and deal the damage before the draw trigger resolves too. Yeah, crazy game. Alright, I'm going to bring in the Allah's Dust, I'm going to bring in the Dismembers. I don't think Consign is a card we want. Chalice is okay. I don't think I want 4. We play like 2 Chalices probably. Against non-moon decks, I like to cut some Talismans typically. Although Ring is also a card I like don't like very much against Yawgmoth. It's a pretty important card in this deck. Probably worse than Nulldrifter. Let's play 5 Talismans, no Nulldrifters. Oh, sorry, Ring is probably better than Nulldrifter. Yeah, it was a fun game for sure. Is Yawg still playing Bowmaster? I would imagine they have it. I can't imagine it's been cut. Especially if they have Zulaport over Blood Artist. I don't know if I would say especially. Okay, finally we have both of these cards in our opening hand for the first time today. We do need to find something. We have the Devourer to dig pretty deep. So improvising out Kozilek's command is an option, but we won't really be able to even cast anything on turn 2 unless we keep something like Eldrazi Temple on top. I think I'm gonna keep the Temple. This lets me improvise out at least Devourer of Destiny, and then we can like just improvise anything else we draw too. Zalbat with the 28 months. Thank you, welcome back. Appreciate you. But yeah, I would think Zulaport over Blood Artist wouldn't necessarily mean that they have Bowmaster instead. Like, obviously, it could mean that. It could mean that. And let's play Talisman so that way we can dismember like a wall of roots, and we can get a second blue source in play to activate the Archway. Did Bowmaster Exile last game. Yeah, but like Zulaport punishes the ring better than Blood Artist, which is again why I would think that it wouldn't necessarily mean that. My opponent Force of Vigor is my Talisman, which is interesting. Then they play a Damping Sphere, which is not something we care. I guess it is kind of a bummer. But now we'll probably just improvise out the ring and then dig for that. So I guess they forced because of the Damping Sphere, right? They just want to pressure my mana as the best they can. I mean, the fact that rings don't stop Zulaport. Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Okay, next, yeah, just discard these four. I have double Archway too, so I don't need to be like as worried about them killing my Archway with a Boseiju or Fulminator. Hitting a land would be fun. Hitting a big Eldrazi might be funner. Another one. Topaz with the 48 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, better than Tolarian Academy against the Damping Sphere. Very, very goofy. Very cool to be in this position after Force of Vigor and Fulminator Mage. Their Rumble isn't so good. What do they put into their hand? Heath. How does Archway tap for 6 with Damping Sphere? It doesn't tap for the mana. It gives the next spell you play Improvise. Not actually tapping for mana. Actually don't think I want any of these cards shuffled in. I believe we can cast Emrakul, maybe not 1 mana short of Ulamog here. Improvising out the Kozilek's command is going to be tough because the Damping Sphere will make my double lands only tap for 1, so getting the double Chalice seems unrealistic. Now they can Woodlands Fulminator Mage. They can also Woodlands Cauldron and Cauldron onto the... Okay. So they have Cauldron Fulminator Mage assembled. Thankfully we have 2 Archways. We'll have plenty of stuff to improvise. 2 cards in their hand. But if we don't find anything and they just kill my other Archway, we may just be dead. I'm gonna draw in response to this trigger, of course, and then we don't draw anything. I guess we discard. Such a bummer. Guess we discard nothing because they are gonna blow up my Archway next turn. I guess I could just draw another Archway, maybe. I'm going to draw 4 cards next turn. Like, if all they do is do this. Can we try the command? I feel like the improvise might work. So you can improvise Kozilek's command, but I just said this. Damping Sphere we would be able to improvise Kozilek's command out if it wasn't for Damping Sphere. So Damping Sphere is making our Eldrazi Temple only tap for 1 colorless. That's the problem. Okay, do they have it in them to sack their Yogg to destroy my Archway? Yeah, but now I could do it next turn, but the problem is they have Cauldron Fulminator Mage to blow up my Archway. Tamiyo meets the Story Circle were. I do think that there could be a more artifact-focused build of Tamiyo meets the Story Circle, but as far as Whir of Invention goes... What are you worrying for? It would, in theory, would have to be something that you... Okay, let's shuffle these 2 back in. In theory, it would be something that you are also wanting to improvise out, right? Okay, so I found an Archway. So now I can Emrakul my opponent. Now, it'll be kind of tough for me to combo off for them because of the whole Damping Sphere situation. So I could go cast Young Wolf, put a counter on it, sack it. Which I think this is better than... Do we try Kappa Cannon in the Shell? I mean, like, we're talking about maybe building a more artifact-focused build. I tried a little bit in that direction last night, and I liked this direction a lot more. Why not cast Yogg and sack it to blow up land? Well, I'm thinking that the Young Wolf is better in their hand than Yawgmoth is, because they have a Yawgmoth in their yard that they can Cauldron. Ooh, Woodland's Copy Cauldron sounds kind of nice. No, the Young Wolf is only one Stone Rain, because you can't sack it immediately. If you put a counter out, then you sack it, then it dies. Woodland Copy Yogg, sack, kill 2 lands. You can only kill 1 land here, right? Like, what am I? How can you kill 2 lands? I almost feel like just like Woodland Copy Cauldron is the best line. Sack Woodland? Well, no, I'm gonna sack this Cauldron. This way, their full mage goes away. In fact, I think I'm gonna Cauldron their Yawgmoth, put a counter on my Emrakul, and then just like get rid. Yeah, I think this has gotta be the line. Sacking Yogg is 1 land to target another land. Sacking Yogg is 1 land and target another land. I guess I'm confused. Where's the okay, so we cast Yogg, you put a counter on it, you sack it to destroy a land. How are you killing the second land? Play Young Wolf, activate Cauldron, turn into Yogg, discard Yogg to proliferate, and then sack and then sack Wolf to blow up Woodland. I think this line is better. I think this is the best line here. But Woodland becomes Yogg. Woodland is sack. Woodland is Yogg, sack Yogg, GG's. Woodland to copy a creature in the Yogg, turn it into a Yawgmoth. I guess I'm a little confused. Obviously, it's a confusing turn, right? Ulamog, no thinking. Oh, dang it. I guess we could probably still Ulamog here. Yeah, I'm thinking that chat is wrong about what they're saying, but I am just confused, so I might be wrong. So we can only do it this x equals 8, unfortunately. So like cast a Devourer, I guess. Maybe we should have just Emrakul'd again. That kills 2 lands. I didn't see a single line in chat that like actually seemed like it killed 2 lands. I saw what I presume to be a lot of confusion about how Yogg works, but I need like a really detailed line about how you can destroy 2 lands there. And then I'm not even convinced it's better because they still can kill my Archway if I leave them with the Cauldron. We are spamming the line. Okay. Woodland, copy Yogg. Soul Cauldron onto Yogg, Woodland. Sack Woodland to kill another land. I see. Okay, I understand now. I understand. Okay, thank you. I understand. I'm not sure if that's better. It might be better. Might be better. By the way, I had lethal. Thanks, chat. I don't think I did, but I don't know. Let's we are going to win this game at the very least. We're going to discuss it. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we discussed it. I wasn't sure. Like, I was confused how we're like sacking the Woodland is destroying a land, and then you just destroy another land. I think both lines we're likely going to win, whatever that's worth. Okay, let's run it back. Do I want to maybe play less Chalices on the draw or more Chalices? It's definitely not better because they can Stone Rain us. Yeah, exactly. I could play a Consign also for Cauldron. Does it hit any other stuff? It stops Undying Trigger. It stops mostly just that. Yeah, we did lose to Affinity. It's been our boogeyman lately. Okay, let's keep this. Hope we can Devour into an Archway and just do the thing on turn 3. We could also Chalice on 1 on turn 1. They did mold a 6 here. So we don't see an Archway. I don't love that if I Chalice on 1 on turn 1, my Kozilek's command isn't doing anything on turn 2. I think I'm just going to take the... I mean, the ring means I have to draw a land. Ah, it's just a bit awkward. I could take nothing. Let's take the Kozilek's command. Take Kozilek's command. I'm going to print Ulamog, I think, over Emrakul and not be 100% sure about that. I think I want to keep the Devourer to hardcast a bit easier. Yeah, Yogg was sacking to the Yogg that you're sacking to yourself there on that proposed line was just because of the Fulminator Mage. Young Groose, 23 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hate to see that one. That is, of course, what they grab here. And it might not be a problem. Because now we get to go Island Cycle, play Island, play Tamiyo meets the Story Circle, and then my opponent... Maybe too low on cards in hand now. But then if they Fulminated Mage me, I can discard 1, 2, 3, have 7. Okay, they can't do it this turn. That's such a big deal too. So I could Devourer or Kozilek's command this turn. Huge. So nice to play a deck. We're just not getting Stone Rained all the time. Okay, so let's discard. I think I discard actually. I'm going to discard Tommy. I'm going to discard Devourer. And then this would let me Kozilek's command X equals 5. If I discard Emrakul, I can X equals 7. So if I go X equals 5, my opponent Fulminator Mages my Archway. Then I have enchantment, creature, sorcery, instant, kindred in the yard. I can cast Emrakul after that. So let's just do this. Bowmaster. Chord for 1. So chording for a Haywire Might. Do I care about Haywire Might? I don't really care if they kill the Chalice. I don't really care if they kill the Tommy meets the Story Circle. Let's let them have it. You consider Omniscience as a payoff in that shell. In this shell, and the problem is you can't improvise it out. It costs triple blue, so you would need to have blue, 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 improvise this card, you know. It's just better to improvise like whatever you would cast off Omniscience, I think. Like we can improvise out, you know, I think Ulamog and Emrakul are just the best things. Buttery, crispy crust. Thank you for the 12 months. Appreciate you. Loving Tyvar roots with white and priest old gods. I do miss those old Tyvar brews. They were very fun. Okay, so my next spell has improvise. I don't need to cast the Kozilek's command. They could go like land. They could go land Cauldron, and I might want to exile the Fulminator Mage if they did that. All right, so tap, 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 tap. Could we have discarded the command to Emrakul last turn? I don't believe so. I don't think so, but I might be wrong. Okay, let's just keep the ring, I think. Could keep ring plus. Let's keep the Dismember. Let's draw the Dismember this turn probably, and then next turn think about the ring. Do you want to shuffle anything in? No, because it just anything I do besides the other Tommy meets the Story Circle makes the Emrakul too expensive. Okay, so Dismember up. Maybe I should have kept the lab to play this turn and just keep one more spawn. They'll sack their Haywire Might, though. So, pick your poison. Make me sack an enchantment. Bowmaster kill Bowmaster. Fetch fail to find. Attack with the wolf. Okay, I don't see any more pick your poisons. That's good news. Grist is an answer to the Emrakul, though. Oops, misclicked. You don't have any enchantments. All right, your turn. I had your turn. Now you get a turn. I think surveilling might be better than failing to find. I think there's almost no chance. You just give them a 4th mana to be able to top deck Yawgmoth. I guess then I don't know. No way, right? I don't know. It is cool to Fate Seal them. I guess they don't have that many outs. They drew a land here. Plays a Rex Sage, so they're gonna take 13 down to 4, and then they really have to draw a Grist or they're cooked, or Cord. Are they thinking about attacking? Tantrum tries hard with the 9 months. Thank you, welcome back. I'm gonna play a ring here. What if Ugin's Binding has some legs in this deck, giving the synergy with Tamiyo? I don't know. I mean, I've played Ugin's Binding. It is a kind of acceptable card. I could Dismember now to play around. I guess they could still Cord for Grist, though. They put a Yogg into their yard. Dwell's a Twilight. Okay. Let's get a 4-1 prediction going. So we have 2 Devourers. Let's keep this. We have like 8 looks at a Tommy meets the Story Circle. A ring we could play at maybe early. The Game Knave, thank you for the Twitch Prime, appreciate ya. If I knew Chalice on turn, I mean, it would be a turn 2 Chalice anyways. Let's put the ring on top for now, and if I see Tommy meets the Story Circle, I'll probably keep that instead. We don't, so let's just do that, and then I know that I am not going to be able to turn 2 ring no matter what, because I'm drawing the ring next turn, so maybe I'll just play Island Go. Maybe I'll go like Island into Minamo or Archway to make it not look like I'm going to slam the ring. Although I did exile a ring, so maybe that's not going to be the most effective strategy here. I'm going to cast the ring. I like that I can just cast Lrien Revealed next turn, and then there's a pretty good chance I go Lrien Revealed into Devourer. This was not good in the Spell Pierce, I guess. It would have been fine to wait too. Okay, there's a frog. So they need a second Spell Pierce or a Force to stop my Lrien Revealed. Hoping they don't. We can Devour next turn, though. Seems like a Force that they decided to not use. Very unlikely to play a ring. Just really want to get the cast trigger, get rid of the frog. 6 cards in hand. Discards a push. Then I'm down to 18 and they're back up to 6 cards in hand. Damn it. Okay, well I guess now we're a bit more likely to play our ring this turn. It did kind of feel like they had Force with these pauses, but I mean if they just have Harbinger plus Force here, you know, good shit, right? Good shit indeed. So my Emrakul costs 11 mana. It will be a lot cheaper once I get done discarding everything that Tommy meets the Story Circle. My opponent discards a Fatal Push here, hits me for 5 down to 13. Talisman would be nice so I can devour one of these two. Got ourselves a reader. I'm going to play both of them. This means that my opponent would have to discard 2 cards to hit me with the frog here. It might be better to just, like, save more life, but I'm also, like, kind of thinking that I'm going to be, like, discard Devour, discard Emrakul, and then, like, in response to the second trigger, I'll draw some cards so I can dump more stuff at the yard. Basic Swamp? Come on, Basic Swamp. Get out of here. Oh my gosh. Basic Swamp. Um Okay, I'm gonna be very in on the Emrakul next turn. Artifact, and I guess I can discard the island to get off Lrien Revealed for another type, but seems like that doesn't really do anything. They have Cling. I mean, I don't know how relevant the Cling is, but thank you for reminding me. Okay, so my Sagas are going to go to the yard next turn, which will make Emrakul cost 9 mana for... And I can draw land to cast Emrakul. Will that be enough? I'm not sure. I guess in theory they could Cling me off of it. Although they actually can't. I have 2 sorceries, 2 artifacts, 2 creatures. I kind of want to cast Devourer this turn. We couldn't cast Devourer. We didn't have the mana to go Talisman plus Devourer. I would have loved to, but we didn't have the mana for that. Right? Play. Yeah, we were 1 short. We also, like, we didn't even have the island to play. All right, land. Okay. Nice. I can... I guess if the problem with shuffling things in is if my opponent clings anything, I can't Emrakul anymore. So this resolving makes things much easier. So let's see if that happens. Looks like it'll resolve. Never mind. Okay, probably nothing we can do. I don't think there's any combination of like 2 cards in their hand that we're really going to get there with. It's a game, 2 we go. Tech for Chromis. So I'm going to be bringing in 4 disputes. I don't know how many Allah's Dust we want to bring in, if any. The Chalices are definitely fine. Actually, they're not so fine, right? Like, they're not good against Consign. They stop, like, Snare. Really just, like, only stop Snare and, like, Preordain and stuff. We probably don't want to play 0 copies. But I don't think I want 4. I think we'll play, like, 2. And then Nulldrifter I don't think is very good. And then I think we just lean more in on Devour than the Allah's Dusts. We could maybe go down, like, 2 Ulamogs and play 2 Allah's Dusts. Let's try that. We want Dismember? Yeah, sorry, we want Dismember too. Maybe Dismember over the Allah's Dusts? We need all the Talismans, we need all the rings, I think we need all the Devourers. I want a couple Ulamogs too. Let's try that. Yeah, I mean, I think Dismember is more for Harbinger than Frog. I mean, it's not bad against Frog, but they can just discard enough cards for it sometimes. Okay, so we'll keep this. We'll put back Emrakul. We'll reveal Devourer. Not really anything we want here. Let's just say no. So if I was going to build Fervent Blade, I would probably not include the Solitude Ephemerate package. If I was going to main deck White Orchid Phantom like you are main decking it, I would basically never I would basically never not have... Oh, you do have Flagstones. I missed the Flagstones. Okay, never mind. I really want to try out Cassandra and the new 3-mana equipment from Assassin's Creed. I think that package looks very fun and inviting to me. I'm not sure if I am really all in on it. I've never really been a fan of Shadow Spear in this archetype. I'm not sure what has really changed. You have Flage for Lifegate now. I don't think I'd play Shadow Spear. But I would try Cassandra. I would not play Solitude Ephemerate. I'd be playing more removal spells. I'd be playing Prismatic Ending right now. Prismatic Ending is very good. I think I'd playing it over Exercise. 2 Rings is very weird. But in general, sadly, I just kind of would not recommend this archetype. So I think I'm going to dispute this. I would really hate to try to Kozilek's command it and get forced. I tried it, found it was clunky, became one more. That's good feedback. It's just something I've been wanting to try in the archetype. So it's good to hear that it was not testing well. Alright, so let's just not play around force and negation. It's going to be hard for them to win if this resolves. Uh-oh. No! Dude, a frog player who always has it is just... it's just awful. But I don't know. I don't know. For me, this archetype is dead, if I'm going to be quite blunt. It's just not an archetype I'm very interested in exploring these days. Now you can get Harbingered. I would have saved it. Well, if they Harbinger me, I have like 5 spawn tokens in play. And if I let them untap, they can Spell Pierce, they can Consign, like they can counter my Kozilek's command. That is like just so valuable if it resolves. If they Harbinger me, I have tons of colorless mana and I have tons of blue mana. It just seems like it would have been fine. Is Chalice good in the meta, so against what decks? I mean, it's very good against Boros. I think it's good. Oh my gosh, I missed the Bowmaster. Damn it! Too busy answering about Chalice. It's good against Storm. It's good against Gorios. It's good against Boros. I don't think it's particularly bad against anything either, which is in some ways more important. It's kind of weird because we almost played around Consign there. Like they didn't consign the the thing. If I draw a land, I can Devour again. My Emrakul cost 11 mana. I become a believer in main deck Pact of Negation and Belcher. You can tap out and use like a normal counterspell on their turn and win in your upkeep. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I don't know with like Flare and I think Flare and Shoal are both better, but I could be wrong. Obviously, there's like plenty of spots that'll be good. I just like one thing about like the thing about Belcher is it's kind of a slow combo deck. You win on turn 5 most of the time, turn 4 sometimes. So like I just love being able to like Flare, counterspell Shoal, and like slow down the more aggressive decks, and then win on turn 4. And so like if you're like Pact is very bad against Boros. And so like I just kind of hate a card being like awful against the best deck in the format when there are just options that are like a lot better. All right, so we will return both of these to my hand here. We can draw a land and cast a Devourer. It might be good to, like, I guess leave this one under. Probably not, though, right? Like, I miss a land, and then they consign, and then I want to have the Emrakul in my hand. So we have a lot of good top decks. Lands and spells. Nice. I could maybe exile the Bowmaster here. Yeah, it's kind of weird. We just get to cut them off black mana. Is Oculus worth buying? Is the real deal? I mean, Oculus is a playable modern card. We're talking about a kind of cool build with like Unearth and the and like the Flare package. I think that sounds kind of nice. Someone was saying they were testing it. I kind of want to try it too. But it might jump block here if they have black cards in their hand. Should be okay with me. Is Cavern too greedy? Yeah, I think it's too greedy. I don't know. We won a lot of islands for our Archway of Innovations. It would make you better against Consign, I guess, but it's like you have no way to tutor it. I would like maybe play Blast Zone instead as like a colorless utility creature. Not sure. All right, 3 cards in their hand. They did have a black card. They did have to jump block with the Harbinger too, which is probably, not so bad for us. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11. Let's jam it. So don't want to give them more time to cast a Consign. Also, we just have plenty of, more Emrakuls and Ulamogs in our deck. Kozilek's commands, Devourers. Boarded out the Nulldrifters, though. Why not cast Emrakul? Why you think I could cast Emrakul? Alright. Your turn. We're in a top deck battle, and I would think I have the better top decks, generally. But in Graveyard's a Watery Grave. Flavorful. 2 Consigns gone. A lot of game winning top decks here. That's a divination. A slow divination, but a divination nonetheless. They probably have to counter it, yeah. You had 11 mana previous turn. I did not have 11 mana previous turn. I had 11 mana the turn I just top decked that Eldrazi Temple and played it. You were wrong. These have nothing underneath them. I put them back in my hand. He'll just do Chalice one. Dot 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 dot. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong. What's not okay is to dot 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 me. Yes, you got check. Okay, so I did cast Emrakul as soon as I had 11 mana with this Eldrazi Temple. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. As soon as I had 11 mana, I cast Emrakul. What are we talking about? Can't snare this. Could have snared the Chalice, though. What does Chalice want against? Snare, Preordain, Cling to Dust. We just have a couple in here, but in general, Chalice 1 is very good against Boros, which has not been the most popular online lately, I guess. Another Harbinger doesn't do too much. Alright, draw 2. No black mana for them either. Yeah, it's no affinity, which is our loss in this league. Oh, they have a snare for sure. They'll save this to discard. I think I'm going to discard this Tommy Meets the Story Circle. I don't think I need that many more clues. I'm going to put an Emrakul and a Devourer back in the deck. It's funny how people are so confidently wrong, don't apologize. I mean, being wrong is nothing to apologize for. I think we as a culture have being wrong about like a game being a little bit too high on the things to apologize for list. I don't know. It is not such a big deal. So 1 mana short of casting that. I'm just gonna sack the other clue. Could play like another Talisman, or I guess don't have enough mana for the 4, or don't have a 4th Meets the Story Circle here. I guess I could shuffle some in. All right, down to 13. I probably want to go Lrien Revealed plus I'm not sure. I will shuffle these back in. I guess I don't have that many 2-drops left. I'm not really under pressure. And maybe I can get them to consign Kozilek's command instead of my Lrien Revealed. Or sorry, instead of my Emrakul. I didn't realize that Lab loses 2 mana ability even if Harbinger dies. So it's not that it loses the 2 mana ability, it's that I had returned the cards to my hand already. I had returned both of them to my hand. I did just shuffle 2-2-jumps back in, but they also probably just counterspell this, yeah. No Emmy. I mean, I'm just kind of playing around their hand of all counterspells here, right? So they did find a Murktide, which is a problem. I guess thankfully I'm not dead to the attack next turn if they consign my Emrakul. Probably going to cast the Emrakul now. Can I cast this first? Emrakul costs 8. Yeah, I can cast this first. Maybe they'll forget about the Chalice. They probably won't. Okay, the trigger resolve. No consign. No counterspell at all. Awesome. Finally, they don't have it. That, quite the stuff to play through here. Alright, they cannot cast any of these cards. They have no outs either, I guess. Yeah, they can't even if they yeah, their out would be like shoot the sheriff. Alright, so we're gonna bring in extra Gemstone Caverns on the draw. You know, one other advantage of this deck is you just don't really care about Harbinger all that much. It's obviously not bad against you. Yeah, Replicate gets through the Chalice. In fact, it was like very intentional design there. I might play it. I mean, extra Ulamog on the draw is maybe too much. Let's just submit this. I'm gonna go use the restroom too. I think I like this hand at the very least. All right, sorry about that. Keeping this one. Revealed Devourer of Destiny. My opponent goes to their second main phase and didn't show up. Sorry about that, opponent, I guess. Oh, that feels kind of bad. Are there any other decks besides Boros Chalice good against? I mean, I yes. I don't know. I literally answered that question twice for you already. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. It's good against Storm. It's good against Gorios. It's not bad against Dimir. It's not bad against Jeskai. It's good against like I don't think it's bad against any deck, but it's nice to have this main deck lock piece that you can play on turn 3 against all the combo decks. I guess it's bad against other Tron decks, right? But I don't know. I answered it twice for you already. I can let that go so we can try to dispute to protect our ring. When a Portent, I just wasn't liking Portent in testing, and I was really liking Devour, been really liking Nulldrifter, just more on the Eldrazi plan. Oh, did they actually keep a 1-lander? Maybe they misclicked and just kept a 0-lander on accident. Well, about as good as that was going to get, I guess. Is Fable getting played anywhere modern? I have it in some like Delirium brews, but it's definitely fallen out of grace. Do we just slam Devourer here? It's a 3-turn clock. I don't like that if they could just have Consign here to stop it. If they were like tapped out somehow. Four, 5, 6, 7. Like, they must have a Consign if they're keeping this 1-lander, right? Well, not playing a frog either. Excuse me. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I should just be slamming my stuff into the counter spells under no pressure. Like maybe they tap out for a Harbinger and I could resolve Lrien Revealed. Keep a card on top. It was definitely that Delta. So maybe they're just trying to play Frog with Consign up for my Devourer? Or they're playing a Murktide. Harbinger means you should have cast Devourer. I mean, I don't know. It's like, this is also better against them, like, playing a threat here, not having, like, land plus Consign. But maybe. I do think I'm going to go ahead and cast it here. There's just, like, a lot to try to play around. They just definitely have it here, is just the problem. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess hold on, can I cycle this? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, I can actually just Ulamog next turn. Oh, they have Counterspell and not Consign. That's kind of insane. They must have misclicked their hand. Now, I don't love like losing this Lrien Revealed because it's so valuable, but um, unless they top deck Consign, we're gonna get to like resolve this Ulamog trigger, get rid of their black source, get rid of the frog. Would you ever tap both islands and lab mana to cast Ring to not? Sorry, what? Would you ever tap both islands and lab to cast Ring to not represent having dispute, even though you're going to take 1 damage to Talisman to cast it? No, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it really costs you anything to do that. Were they top deck Consign, or they saving the Consign for Ulamog? A little sus. I guess it's not that sus. Yeah, no, it's really not really sus actually. Just sad. No, it's pretty reasonable. They discard a Delta main phase, and then they're playing another Murktide Regent, so tapping out. Big top deck. So if I exile Frog, make 2 spawns plus 6 mana, can't exile the Murktide. But I guess I could just exile the Murktide and then make spawns and then exile the Frog. If the last 2 cards are Force of Negation blue card, wait, they're gonna have Force. Okay, well, waiting to play around Force doesn't make any sense because if they have Force, they're just gonna win the game probably. I'm not. They can untap and cast it. Don't tap a double command if they force. This is certainly the right play, Mystic Tutor. I know you've summoned this Force of Negation to their hand. This was certainly the correct play. They have 2 cards in their hand. They've already used 1 Force. I don't even know what the proposed line is if they to like play around Force here. Like I don't even know what the play is supposed to be to play around it. But it seemed like they didn't have it until you wait. All right, let's cast the ring first. Did they find another counterspell? Why would you exile Murktide first? I just said this too, but like we have to exile Murktide first. We have to exile Murktide first so that we have enough mana to exile the frog after. We were 1 short of doing both. Okay, did you draw counterspell? I'm like losing my mind today. Like I counted it out. We didn't have enough mana to exile frog first. Okay, they discard a Watery Grave, which doesn't exactly seem correct. Oh, right, to grow the Murktide does seem correct. How much mana do I have? I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. So I could find Ulamog, Devourer, Kozilek's Command, Emrakul. Allowed to play around Pierce. Well, they didn't have a mana up for Pierce. So I'm a little confused too. Okay, well, at least they didn't top deck counterspell. Very small. If you cast this with counter on the stack, they couldn't have made this play. That's true, yeah, that's true. Alright, did you top deck a Consign? Thankfully not. Okay, Harbinger is very interesting because now I can't Kozilek's Command. I guess I should have tapped differently to where I could just K command X equals 1 in response to this. That was a mistake. We do have a bunch of talismans to draw. We do have, Emrakul's the top deck. So thankfully we're going to win anyways, but another little mistake there. Thank you, Mystic Tutor. Okay, so our one loss is our new nemesis Affinity. I really am a believer in this deck. We just beat Dimir twice in a row. They're like the deck full of consigns. I'm like a big fan of this build. Now, I do have a backup deck today. I don't know if y'all are feeling this list as much as I am, but I'm like a big believer in this one. But let me go ahead and pay out the prediction. I'll show y'all the backup deck, and then we can do a poll if we want to play this or not. So this is a